Yeah, let's do women's 1500. This was the Eleanor Purrier, straight from the gun. Why did you push me off the track? That's just going to make me angrier and I'm going to run really hard and destroy everybody race. It was such an impressive display of dominance by Purrier, 358.03. And she mentioned in the post race interview, because there was a little pushing and shoving at the beginning, she actually got pushed off of the track, but she said it motivated her to get out more. Like, hey, you're going to push me? Well, I'm going to keep going, and you're not going to have anything to push. You can see here that stumble there all the way to the inside. And look at the, and she has the look there back at like, wait, what are you guys doing? Like, why did you think that this was going to be okay? And she took about 4 steps on the inside rail, almost like a domino effect. You can just see it going left to right there. I mean, she never looked flustered, never looked in doubt. The only question was who was going to be on the team with her. And Corey McGee latched on right by her side, didn't let her go. Danny Jones was up there. Shannon Osika was up there. Jones started to fade, and Heather McLean made a move and passed a bunch of people in that last. Well, she passed 2 people, I guess, in the last. It seemed like a lot more, but by then they were so spread out because of how fast Purrier was running. So we end up with a Purrier, McGee, and McLean 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I mean, McLean ran a great race, understanding that she didn't need to go into that top group of 4 or 5 women that were going with Ellie's pace, and was
Yeah,
able to kind of trust that she would be able to catch Osika in that final home stretch, and it worked out. And Mark Coogan getting 2 women on the Olympic team in the 1500, and he mentioned on an interview on the internet somewhere about how, like, hey, you never see, like, El Purier went to New Hampshire and
yeah,
Heather McLean went to UMass Lowell, and they're both on the Olympic team in the 1500. And I think it's his way of saying, like, you don't need to go to Stanford or Oregon or Florida, all these big schools to make
yeah.
Olympic teams. That you can go to those small schools and talent eventually will rise to the top. But yeah, guys got to check out that workout Wednesday we did with El Purier and Heather McLean, and kind of watch that back, because 2 of those women in that workout are on the Olympic team. So they did what they do? They did I believe they did 2 by mile, and then they did a 4 by 8, and then a 4 by 4, and they
Mhm.
ran their 400s in like sub 60. So they're showing that they're able to close well. But check out that workout Wednesday on those New Balance Boston women. Pretty cool.
When you were watching that workout a couple months ago, were you thinking, okay, that's first and third at the trials?
Well, I was thinking, oh
Did you
shoot,
know it?
like Heather McLean. No, I was thinking Heather McLean might make the team. I was thinking that, and Mark Coogan was smiling at me. He's like, "Yeah, I'm telling you, man. People don't recognize she's right there with Ellie." And then I got some other people taking, like, "Oh well, maybe Ellie doesn't train as hard as she races," but Heather McLean held in there for that entire workout, and
Mhm.
the marks that Ellie was running and Heather were running were both impressive, and clearly it resulted in both women making the Olympic team.
Yeah, so McLean, 25 years old, in 2018, she was a senior at UMass Lowell, makes the semifinals at NCAA's in the 800 outdoors, runs 203.6. Her PB that year was 203.4. She goes to USA's, eliminated in the first round. The next year in 2019, more of a 1500 focus. She makes the 1500-meter final at at USA's and finishes in 7th and lowers her PB to 405 in that event. Then 2020 gets a few races in, weird year, runs a 405 indoors in the 1500. So she was in that group, and we were waiting for a while. Now this was back when we thought, Houlihan would be in there, and we thought Simpson was going to be in there. But there was this other group that was lurking, and it included people like McLean and McGee and Jones and Osika that were right around, and Sinclair Johnson, you could say too, Hiltz. But we just thought, man, it's too tough to crack into that top 3. And then one by one, most of the top 3 came apart, and then this opportunity opened for McLean. And man, credit to her on that last lap, or just when that move was made. I mean, she was 2 seconds back from McGee and Houlihan at 1200 and then closed incredibly well. She closed in 48:36 over that last 300, which was mighty impressive given how quick that went out. So an unpredictable team here. Jenny Simpson finishes 10th. She basically said, "Hey, I didn't have it. I didn't have enough to run 4 flat, and that's what it took to make the team." She said she wasn't ready. This ends her streak. She's made every single team since 2007. I think it's one of the most impressive streaks in the entire sport. She said she hasn't watched the Olympics on TV since 2004. So this will be the first one since then. And her lesson, the sport goes on without you. And she said she was in really good shape in 2020. It got pushed back a year. We talked about, is that going to help some people in terms of preparation? It's going to hurt some people. Clearly, Jenny Simpson was the people that it hurt. And you look at how she was running in 2020, and it makes sense given where she's at in her career as well, that you could say, man, she obviously would have had a better chance in 2020 than 2021. Not worth a whole lot now because the meet happened in 2021. Can't go back and change that. But I know that's something that you and I have been tracking, ever since last year, trying to figure out who would have the benefit and who would be hurt from the Olympics being pushed back a year.
I also want to give a shout out to Corey McGee.
Mm-hmm.
She made her first world team in 2013, 8 years ago. And now she's still making world teams, in this case, an Olympic team. There was a lot of times when you felt like she might have peaked early when she made that team. Her PR was 406 in 2013. And then these were her PBs after her season's best after 2013. So she makes a team in 2013, 406. 14, her PB, her season's best is 410. Then she runs a 409 and 15. Then runs a 407 and 16. Then runs a 409 and 17. Then runs a 406 and 18. So that's 5 straight years of not really showing improvement from your 2013 performance. Then 2019, she runs 404, 2020, 403, and now 2021, she's making the Olympic team, finishing second. To go 5 years of stagnation and not hang it up and be like, I still feel like there's something there. I still feel like if I just get it right, I can put together a perfect race and improve my marks and be in contention to make another team. It's kind of hard to go 5 years of just stagnation. And for her to go through that 5 years and now the past 3 years be a 404, 403, and now was she run in this final 402? Four flat. She ran 4 freaking flat.
4 flat, yeah.
In the Olympic trials final. It's incredible patience and endurance for McGee.
Yeah, I mean, she had a good 800 in her legs. And I guess you're talking about before 2020, basically, when you're talking about when her rise came.
Because in 2013, she made her first team, and then she kind of stagnated. It wasn't like making every team. She was kind of like just another runner who can make a final but finish anywhere between 5th to 9th.
Yeah. I mean, where I really thought, okay, she's going to have a chance at a team was last year when she ran 2 flat in the 800. And I know it was hard to piece together results and what they meant last year, but I thought of her more as a 1,500 meter runner. And I'm thinking, okay, if a 1,500 meter runner has 2 flat speed in the 800, they could be a problem. And turns out she was added in a little bit more endurance to that on top of it. And there you go. And now she's on the team. And she looked really good throughout this race, Gordon. It wasn't she latched right onto Purr. She was confident. And signing up to run with Elle Purrier, St. Pierre, in the beginning of a race when she goes out that hard, you need to be very bold. That's signing up for a lot of pain with not guaranteed great ending involved. And she still did it, which shows me that she was extremely confident in her fitness. I mean, she was just attached to her. A couple times she was even running wide on her. And I thought, is she going to pass her? Is she going to take this race from Ellie? But no shame in losing to Purrier based on how hard she's been running. And now, McGee makes her second team that many years after making her first one. That's an incredible story in this race.